Welcome back to England. This is our third video. We're going to go on a little sort of trip around England to see all the landmarks, best books, films, music, all the fun stuff. We're going to start in the southwest in Cornwall because that's where we are now. Historically there was a lot of mining, a lot of smuggling, but now there's a lot of tourism here. There's some great sailing you can see behind, there's a lot of surfing. But our first stop is going to be in a city called Bath, where there are the Roman baths. They're pretty much what it says on the tin. There's like a hot spring in the area, so they're naturally warm. And then in Roman times, the Romans would go bathe there. But you can go now and walk around. And it's pretty cool knowing that you're standing like exactly where the Romans stood just thousands of years ago. Next stop is very close to Bath, which is Stonehenge. It's thought to be around 4,500 years old, but honestly no one's completely sure. It's one of the wonders of the ancient world, and no one really knows what it was for. There's a few theories, I need to read them. The rocks come from Wales, and they are perfectly aligned to the sun, so some people think it's a kind of pagan ritual site, but a lot of people think it's actually a lot older than that, and it might be some form of calendar, sort of based off the sun. Others think it's kind of a burial ground, a temple to the dead, but no one really knows, but it's pretty cool to see. Then going a bit further north to Gloucestershire, we've got a really weird event. It's called the Cheese Rolling Festival. They roll a wheel of cheese down a really steep hill, and then everyone tries to chase the wheel of cheese down the hill, and the first to the bottom wins the cheese, but it's really steep. They literally had to put a rugby team at the bottom to catch them because they literally just falling down a super steep hill. Everyone was really injured. But it's quite entertaining. It's weird, but great. Then coming further north to Liverpool, this is home of the Beatles, the famous 1960s band. They sang songs like Here Comes the Sun, Hey Jude, I'm sure you all know some of them. And then coming up from Liverpool, we get to the Lake District. There's a really great set of books called Swallows and Amazons by Arthur Ransom. That's about a group of children that go on holiday. They have all these adventures sailing around these lakes, these islands, these pirates. And it's a really great read, honestly, whatever the age, highly recommend it. There's a whole series of books, but there's a main one, it's called Swallows and Amazons, and that's set in the Lake District. Then right up north is Hadrian's Wall. This wall was built as the northwestern boundary of the Roman Empire, and it runs the entire length, coast to coast, the entire width of England, which is, I believe, 73 miles long at that point. So it literally goes all the way sea to sea. And then still up north is the Angel of the North, which is this huge sculpture. It's on the top of a hill. You can see it from so far away. It's 20 metres tall and its wings are 54 metres wide, so you can see it from ages away. And then coming back down at the east side of England, we'll make a stop at County Durham, which is where the musical and film Billy Elliot are set. And then further down from there you get to Nottingham. Just outside Nottingham is Sherwood Forest, where I'm sure you've all heard of Robin Hood. Robin Hood is set in Sherwood Forest around Nottingham. Another classic one, books, films. And then carrying on with the book theme, these ones don't really have such a set location. Chronicles of Narnia, another classic one. It's actually written by a Northern Irish author, but it's set in England, the characters are English. A great book about children going on adventures. Great read for anyone, sort of regardless of your age. And then an English classic, but very much a children's book, is Winnie the Pooh. It's very much aimed at younger children, but it's always known by anyone in England. I'm sure you guys have it there as well. Then we get to London. London has quite a lot going for it, unsurprisingly. Music-wise, you're looking at Queen, Elton John, and then a lot of musicians nowadays are based in London because there's so much there. Also a lot of musicals. London has the West End, which is our equivalent to Broadway, home to musicals like Oliver, which is also set in London. If you go to King's Cross train station in London, you can go to the wall to lead to platform 9 3/4 and immerse yourself into the Harry Potter world. I believe there's a trolley sort of halfway through the wall there. And of course, we couldn't not talk about James Bond films. Classic films. The polite English spy. I think there's 26 films now, there's one about to come out. They're fantastic. And then of course is the London landmarks. I'm sure you all know them. We've got the Tower of London, which is where the crown jewels are kept. So that's all the like royal family's jewellery, their crowns, tiaras. It also used to be a prison. Big Ben, you know, the big clock. It's got the really iconic sort of bell sound. The clock like strikes an hour. And then Buckingham Palace, which we've already talked about in the first video. Sort of a base for the royal family, but they do, the Queen lives mainly in Windsor Castle, which is just outside London. But Buckingham Palace is very much in the centre of London and a great place to go visit.